2. Great. Let's get started. So you can use your blanket if you have trouble sitting crisscross. We are going to sit crisscross and warm up with the breath. So finding a comfortable seated position, use your blanket. Again, get it as high or as low as what's comfortable for you. You can bring one foot in front of the other in Shavasana, or you can sit with ankles just crossed, or you can work and open up those hips a little bit by sliding those feet under the knees as best you can, okay? And then finding that lovely juicy spot in those sit bones that you can sit nice and tall, lifting out of the waist, rolling the shoulders up, back and down, really lifting out of the solar plexus and lifting the sternum up here. So you feel that the shoulder blades are drawing down the back, again, lifting out of the waist nicely so that we're not hunching and rounding the spine. So really sitting nice and tall. Today I'm going to have you place one hand on your heart center and one hand just below on the belly. So while we're breathing, we can feel that expansion and you can feel the breath go up to the chest. Often we stop right in the belly or solar plexus and then we exhale. I want you to practice bringing the breath up through the heart, right to the throat, even past, and then pause there, and then slowly exhale. So bringing those hands, just gently placing them, closing the eyes, keeping that lift throughout the torso, beginning to notice the breath. We're not controlling the breath here or anything, just becoming aware of it. Slowing it down, might have been a bit rushed getting in, setting up. So again, just being aware of how the breath is flowing at the moment. Starting to slow it down to a more natural rhythm. Feeling the rise and the fall of the belly, of the chest. Again, sitting nice and tall, just in case you have kind of hunched a little bit forward, readjusting that seat and that height in the spine, stacking one vertebrae at a time. The shoulders are away from the ears. Tongue is away from the roof of the mouth. Teeth are slightly parted and jaws relaxed. The gaze is nice and soft. Exhale all the air out of the lungs. And begin a nice deep inhalation from the base of the spine. Rise up through the belly. Feel the expansion of the rib cage. Feel the breath into the solar plexus, heart, throat. See if you can get a little bit past the throat and pause. Hold there. And then slowly exhale. And begin that breath again. Inhale from the base of the spine, rising up, expanding the ribs, chest, throat, top of the inhalation. Pause, hold there. Notice if you're holding tension. And then slowly exhale, release that tension, release that breath. Bring everything back down to center. Nice deep inhalation in. Rise up through the belly, chest, throat. Pause. Relax your facial muscles. And then slowly, with control, exhale. And return to a normal breath. You can release the hands down and just bring a nice deep inhalation, Nice, strong exhalation. Notice what you feel, the mind and the body. Letting go of the moments before this moment and allowing your practice to be your own. Listening to what the body needs and quieting the thoughts of the mind. Allowing you to be in the present moment. Finding that connection within yourself. Nice deep inhalation in. Exhale, sigh it out. Dropping the chin towards the chest. We're just gonna drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Feel that stretch through the left side of the neck. You can keep the eyes closed here, open them. Just allowing the gaze to be soft if you open your eyes. Nice deep breathing. Keeping that connection with that Ujjayi breath. And we're going to roll the chin down now back to center and then roll it to the left side. So the left ear is on the left shoulder. Feeling that stretch through the right side of the neck. Again, sitting up nice and tall. Nice deep breathing. Rolling that chin right back down to center. Now we're going to do some neck rolls. We're going to roll the neck all the way around. Right to the back. Nice and slow, not too fast. But notice what you feel in the neck as you move it through that circle. Just let you feel. One more time this way, and then you'll switch into the opposite way. So switch the rotation. When you get back to the middle, switch the rotation and go around. Nice and slow again. Notice what you feel. Finishing up on your last one, bringing that neck down to center, opening the eyes nice and soft, keeping that gaze soft as you bring the head and neck up. Beautiful. Switch the cross of the legs, readjust your seats, your sitting position, sitting up nice and tall, lifting out of the waist. We're gonna bring our arms up, shoulder height. You're gonna cross the left arm over the right and then wrap the forearms around each other to where the palms touch. If the back of the hands are touching or you're literally like right here, no worries. Okay, be where you are. This is your practice and your body that's just where it is. Best thing, the lovely thing about yoga is accepting where you are. It's one of the hardest things to do in yoga, but when you can accept, when you get to that place, it's quite lovely. So bringing the elbows in line with the shoulders, and then while you do that, sometimes our shoulders rise up, okay? Then you're gonna drop those shoulders down the back, slide those shoulder blades down. Inhale the navel to the spine. So you're really engaging that core. Okay, that's going to get that nice lift out of the waist. And you're going to work those back muscles. You're going to get a little bit more of a stretch. And then if you can, if your elbow or if your arms are here at that 90-degree angle, see if you can bring your hands a little bit away from the forehead so that they're at that 90-degree angle. Get a little bit more. Again, drop those shoulders. Every movement, drop those shoulders. Breathe into that space. Nice deep inhalation in. Really feel that chest lift. right from the base of that spine all the way up through the body, and then pause there for a moment. Notice where that tension is, and then exhale, release it. One more nice deep breath here. Good. On that next exhalation, you're going to release the arms, take them back, interlace the fingers behind you, and then press those hands down. So down the back, and you're just going to take the tops of the shoulders, press them back, open up that sternum, just getting that nice little stretch, just gentle here, just counterbalancing that stretch. Nice deep inhalation in, and then exhale, side out, release, bring the arms back up, in line, and then we're going to cross the right over. Good. Forearms wrap around each other, back of the hands, palm of the hands. Wherever you're at, okay? And then bring those elbows up in line. You get that deeper stretch, drop the shoulders away from the ears. And then with the fingers, see if you can straighten them. You get a little bit more of a stretch in those wrists. And then breathe, draw that navel in and up. Shoulder blades are sliding down the back. Notice where that stretch is. Relax the knees down away from the hips. If at any point you need to switch across the little legs, you can, or stretch them out for a minute. The breathing here, releasing that tension. Good. One more nice deep inhalation in. Exhale, release it. And release the arms. Again, interlace them behind, but this time opposite. So however you interlace them the first time, switch. It'll feel a bit uncomfortable, but try it out. Again, roll those shoulders down the back, lift the sternum nice and high. You're kind of exaggerating, so you might get a slight back bend in the spine. We are exaggerating the curve in the spine. So slight back bend here. Good. Feel the shoulder blades going away from the ears. Feel the neck opening up. Nice deep inhalation in. And then exhale, release. So release the hands. Beautiful. If you are sitting on some support, removing that support. Good. Coming onto your hands and knees. We are going to do big toes together, knees wide apart. You're going to walk your hands down into child's rest or child's pose, not resting, child's pose. So what we're going to do here is you're going to spread your fingers wide, draw those shoulder blades down the back. Lift the forearms and the upper arm off of the mat for a moment and feel that you're drawing those shoulder blades away from the ears and down the back, and then lower the chest towards the floor. Notice if you feel a difference there. No worries if your chest does not touch the floor, that's okay. Sit bones, if they don't touch the heels, all good. If it's too much for your knees, you can always grab that blanket and place it kind of underneath the sit bones for a minute. Or you can bring the knees together and place it a little bit underneath the knees, just so then there's that little bit of the pressures released a little bit from the bend in the knee. So try that out. Otherwise, full child's pose. The arms are still lifted off the ground. I want you to work this pose a little bit, really working those shoulders, opening up the chest. Nice deep inhalation in. Exhaling, releasing the shoulders, releasing the chest towards the floor, drawing those sit bones down towards the heels. Especially as we hold this pose, really breathe into it. Allow the breath to guide you and open up the body, especially the back body. Feel that with every exhalation, the body opens a little bit more. You go a little bit closer to the floor, a little bit closer to those heels. Nice deep breathing. Using that Ujjayi breath that we did at the beginning of class. Really breathing nice and deep here. Drop your forearms. Going to bring the hands together so the palms touch. Going to look up for a moment, just looking up. Take a nice deep inhalation in. And then bring that forehead back down on the exhalation. And then draw those hands back behind the head. Fingertips point towards the sit bone. Okay, so you're feeling that extra bit of opening through the shoulder blades, possibly through the upper arm. Breathing into that space. Feel the breath going up through the body. Feel the expansion of the rib cage. Breath into the shoulder blades, chest, throat. Pause there. And then exhale, release. Draw the chest towards the floor. Draw the sit bones towards the heels. One more nice deep breath in. Exhale, release the hands back down. Spread those fingers wide. Press the palms into the floor. Draw those shoulder blades down the back. Nice deep inhalation in. Exhale, sigh it out. On your next inhalation, you're going to walk those hands back towards the body, coming onto your hands and knees. Good. Just adjusting yourself. Okay. So from here, let's do thread the needle, and then we're going to do a little bit of a flow. So hands and knees are underneath your hips, hands are underneath your shoulders. Beautiful shoulder opener here. I love this one. Such a nice, I want to say easy, but not always easy for everyone. But it's just a really great way to open up the shoulder blades, the outer shoulder blades. So coming into that comfortable tabletop, bringing that navel in and up. Okay, nice flat back here. You're going to take your left hand, nice deep inhalation in, pick up that left hand, and then exhale, bring it through. So you're threading it through to the right side, coming on top of that left shoulder, and then bringing that ear, head, and neck down towards the floor. Okay, so you're on top of your left shoulder, opening up the back of that left shoulder. Okay, knees and hips stay exactly where they are. For an extra little bit of stretch, you can draw that right hip back a little bit so that the hips square themselves. You get a little bit more of a stretch through the torso. With the right hand, you can have it at a 90-degree angle and just totally hang out here, or you can bring it alongside the right ear. Totally your choice. Nice deep breathing. Draw that navel in and up. Create a little bit more space for that twist. Breathe. Palm of the left hand faces up towards the sky. It's a little bit easier of a rotation through that shoulder. Just in case you're wondering. Breathing into that stretch. Nice and slow, nice and deep. One more nice deep breath in. And then exhale, sigh it out. Let go of any extra tension or stress that you're kind of holding on to in this pose. Slide that right hand back underneath that right shoulder. And then you're going to press into that right hand. Nice deep inhalation in. Slide that left arm out back underneath the shoulder. readjust your alignment. Sometimes we tend to pop out when we're coming out of the pose. So just readjusting that, taking a moment here. And then with your right hand, you're getting a nice deep inhalation in. Pick up that right hand, slide it through onto the left side or right shoulder, wow, on top of this right shoulder. And then being here. So then you can adjust that pose a little bit by sliding that left hip back. So you're squaring those hips. So you're coming onto the top of the right shoulder in this one, head and neck down towards the floor. You can keep your left hand at a 90-degree angle, or you can slide it alongside the ear. Whichever you choose, whatever's more comfortable. No right or wrong, just a little bit of an extra stretch when we lengthen the arm alongside the ear. Nice deep breathing. Again, engage that core. So take that navel in and up. With every breath, opening up the body. Allowing the breath to guide you through the pose. Each inhalation, you feel that lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. And then just exhale, release. Feel that body lift. And then exhale, release. Beautiful. So sliding that left hand back underneath that shoulder, pressing into the left hand, nice deep inhalation in, slide that right arm out, placing it back underneath the shoulder. Again, adjust your positioning. You're gonna bring the knees together here, and you're gonna just bring the sit bones back towards the heels and then the arms just behind. Now, if this is too much and you really don't like it, no worries. If it's too much for the knees because they're too bent, then just place a blanket underneath the knees to take the pressure off of the knees. Or if you don't like that, if that's not the problem and it's more your shoulders or the fact that your chest is just coming up to your throat, bring one hand on top of the other, forehead on the ground. You can always take the knees wide apart too and do the same thing, or bring the hands back behind. Totally your choice. There's no wrong way here. To rest the body for a moment, quiet the mind. Just find that connection again. And one more nice deep breath in. And then exhale, side out. And inhale, roll up one vertebrae at a time. All right, so from here, we're gonna do a little bit of a flow. I like this one. So we're gonna go from our child's pose, okay? And then you're gonna inhale, round the spine up like a cat stretch, and then exhale, drop the hips down, thighs down, and come into an upward dog. When you're in your upward dog, you're taking those shoulders back, or in the front shoulders, the top right here. You're taking these back and you're really lifting the chest through, okay? And then exhale, come back, sit back towards the heels. This is where you can have that blanket too, just on the back of the legs. Oh, sorry, your arms are gonna stay up front. And then inhale, round the spine, just like a cat stretch. Exhale, lower the hips down. Torso comes through, chest comes through the arms, and then exhale. So again, flowing on your own. So finding that rhythm that works for you. however the breath flows, whether it's better to do an exhalation coming through, you play with it. You figure out what you like in your body and what works best. And we're just going to flow here for a few breaths. You can move quicker. You don't have to go so slow. You can move slow though too. Again, this is kind of your practice here. This is the best way to find that connection with the body and how the body moves. Where you're holding that tension. Feel those little cracks in the spine, those are little adjustments that the back makes when we come through. And remember, nice deep breathing. Exhale, pause there for a moment and then move back through. We're going to finish, do one more and then we'll move on. Good. Going back to child's pose. This time, big toes together, knees wide apart, and walk the hands down. Notice what you feel from this child's pose to the last child's pose. Now that the body is more opened and more warmed up, you may notice that you went a little bit further in your pose. Nice deep inhalation in. Exhale, release, sigh it out. One more nice deep inhalation in. And then exhale, walk the hands back towards the upper body. Back to hands and knees. Walk the hands a little bit ahead of the shoulders. We are going to go up into a downward dog. So walking the hands a little bit ahead of the shoulders just to get that lift. Tuck the toes under. Bring those sit bones back towards the heels. Press into the hands. Nice deep inhalation in. Lift those sit bones nice and high. Come up high on the toes. First downward dog of the day, I'm going to assume. So pressing those hands into the floor. And bring your navel in and up to create space for the belly. And then draw the chest towards the thighs. Okay, so you're getting that nice lift out of the shoulders. You're going to have a slight bend in the knees here, just to get that extra lift in the hips. And then draw the heels towards the floor. And you can do a walking dog here, just opening up the backs of the legs. Walking dogs are quite slow at the beginning, just to open up the back of the leg. So hold there for a moment if you are lifting one heel. And then the next. Don't move too quickly at first. Then you can kind of, once your legs warm up, you can kind of move a bit quicker. Keep that navel in and up. Nice lift in the belly. Come up high on the toes one more time. Press those hands into the floor. Shoulder blades draw down the back. Chest towards the thighs. Heels towards the floor. Breathe. Nice deep breath here. This pose is wonderful for the nervous system. Wonderful inversion here. You're working every muscle in the body. You may notice it. Okay, so hands and feet are nice and grounded here. You're going to inhale the right leg up. Okay, nice and high from the hip. Okay, then you're going to either swing it or walk it through. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to come into pigeon. So you're going to cross that right leg onto the left thigh. I'll show you from this angle as well. So you're going to bring that right foot, whether you're stepping it or swinging it through, onto that left thigh. Okay, then when you get there, this is where you can kind of play. So you can slide that left leg back so that your foot goes more into the crease of the hip. Okay. When you get there, you can always pick up that leg a little bit and move it. So that right foot. So you get more of an angle on the, more of a stretch. So when we bring that foot up and out, your angle changes, the rotation of the hip changes, so you get a deeper stretch. Depends on how deep you want to go. You can pick that foot up right to a 90 degree, but it's totally up to you. You can also place it right on I don't even know what angle this would be. I feel like 60-30, but it doesn't have to go right to a 90 degree. Okay, so you just can kind of play with it. If you want a bit of a deeper stretch, just gently pick up that foot, bring it up a little bit, and then drop that left hip down. Just changes a little bit of the rotation and the deepness of the stretch. Okay, so when you're there, look back at your left foot. It tends to want to kind of wing out and do its own little thing. So just make sure it's in line with that leg, and then walk the hands back a little bit so that we're sitting nice and tall for a moment. Just open up that left front thigh. Okay, nice deep inhalation in, slight back bend here in the spine. And then exhale, walk the hands down to where it's comfortable. Okay, go as far as what's comfortable in your body. This stretch can be really intense. And if you brought that foot up to more of a 90 degree angle, it's going to be deeper. You may not go as far forward as you would hope. Okay, so just be mindful of that, mindful of the stretch. If at any point you need to come out of this stretch, because it can be intense, please come up. But otherwise, enjoy it. It's a wonderful hip stretch. Great to open up the hips. Great for the low back. One thing though, I will suggest is not to fall into the right hip. I know it's lovely and you're like, oh, it's just gonna hang out here, but I want you to not do that. Move your hip up, okay, so that you can feel the heel right into the left ASAS, okay? So you want that hip a little bit up. You want your hip square. A little bit of a deeper stretch there. You might not like it. You might want to go back to hang out on your right hip, but please don't. You will end up with like a little bit of a twist in the low back, and then throughout the day, maybe sciatic will kick in. You just don't want those little things to happen throughout the day as you get into the rest of your day walking, whatever it is. Nice deep breathing here. Breathing into the stretch. With each exhalation, open up the body. Release that stretch. Create more space for the movement of the body. I want you to, for a moment, bring your breath to your heart, to your chest, to in between the shoulder blades. Breathe into that space for a moment, not only focusing on the outer hip or where else you might be feeling it, but bring your awareness there for a moment and just breathe into that area. Nice deep inhalation in, and then exhale. Release. Notice a difference as you release. There may be a little bit more opening up in the shoulders, opening up in the heart. One more nice deep inhalation in. And then exhale, walking the hands back up. Coming out the same way you went in. So coming right back to that back bend kind of action where you're pressing those shoulders back, lifting the heart. Same idea as we did in upward dog. Okay, that same motion. Then bring the hands down, tuck the back toe under, kind of pop your hips up into what we would call a plank, and then walk your foot back, or inhale, swing it all the way back up, upward dog, or just downward dog. And then come back into your downward dog for a moment. Readjust it here. This is a beautiful pose again. Connecting with the breath. Oh, it's finding that shoulder blade, the opening up in the shoulder blades, drawing those down the back, opening those hips up. Good, nice deep inhalation in here. Inhale that left leg up this time, nice and high from the hip, okay? And then you're gonna either swing it or walk it through into your pigeon. So again, crossing that foot onto the right thigh, then lower, sliding that right thigh down, right leg down. Okay, and then play with it here. So we talked about the angles. You can pick up that left foot, okay, make it more of a 90 degree, and then draw that right hip, right ASF, back down, okay? So you're getting that stretch through that front thigh. So wherever your angle is at, wherever that rotation is, be mindful, okay? The deeper you go, the more stretched, the more intense. So if you, at any point you need to come out, but find that juicy spot that you like and hang out there. Look back at that foot, make sure it's in line with that leg, walk the hands back so you're at that back bend action. You're bringing that chest forward, drawing those shoulder blades down the back. Nice deep inhalation in here. Really lift the chest, lift out of the waist, and then exhale. Walk the hands down to the forearms. You can bring your forehead down. Playing here, or not playing, but sorry, being here. Once you found that spot that you just love being in, be there. As long as you are not dropping that left hip down and hanging out in that sit bone. Okay, pop that hip up. And breathe. Again, I've always said, if something doesn't feel right, you can always come out, readjust it, and then go back in. Sometimes it's just the way we went in it. We either went in too quickly or we just kind of went into it a little bit different. So sometimes if we come out, readjust, go back in, it might feel a bit better. Just being in that pose, bringing the navel towards the spine. Breathing into the body. Feel the whole body lift as you bring that inhalation in, and then feel the body release as you exhale. Letting go of what no longer serves you. Creating more space in the body again for movement. As you're breathing here, bring that breath back into the shoulder blades, the heart. Breathing nice and deep through that area, not only where you're feeling the stretch, but into that area as well. Notice what you feel with each exhalation. Notice what you feel happening in the shoulder blades and the heart. One more nice deep inhalation in. And then exhale, side out. Walk the hands back underneath the shoulders, coming back out the same way you went in. Okay, so coming right back to that lovely back bend. And then coming onto palms of the hands, spreading the fingers wide, tucking that back toe under. And then lifting up the hip, sliding that leg out, coming right back up into the air. High on those hips, and then back into a downward dog. And notice the difference from your downward dog, from your first downward dog to this downward dog. Nice deep inhalation in. We're just gonna walk the feet up towards the hands as best you can, and then you can slide your hands towards the feet. Okay, so from here, making sure that your toes are side by side and in line, not one ahead of the other. So you're gonna bring your hands up onto your shins or onto your thighs, wherever's comfortable. But we're gonna create that flat back. Okay, so you're gonna bring that navel in and up, draw the shoulder blades down by pressing the hands into the legs, and then you're gonna shift your weight. So we often hang out in our heels. Okay, it's a safe place, safe space to be. We're not gonna fall forward, but I want you to shift your weight to the front of the foot. The big toe mounds, the pinky toe mounds. You can even lift your toes here, spread them out. Drop one toe down at a time. Spreading those feet, or those toes. And then just see if you can distribute the weight equally from the front to the back. And again, draw those shoulder blades down, lift the navel in and up, create that space. We're just gonna hang out here. You're gonna tuck the chin towards the chest and just hang. We're just straightening the spine, getting that nice length. One more nice deep inhalation in. Lift the head and neck up a little bit, draw the shoulder blades down, and then exhale, slide the hands down towards the feet. Slight bend in the knees. If your hands don't touch the floor, slight bend in the knees. Okay? You're gonna tuck that chin one more time. You're gonna slight bend in your knees so that the belly and the chest kind of hang out on the thighs. Grab the elbows. Opposite hand, opposite elbow. And then let the head hang here. You can swing from side to side, so you can, if you want, totally stay here with the chest resting on the thighs. Nice little forward fold. Or you can, if you want to sway a little bit, just unbend the knees, so straighten the knees up a little bit. And then you can just swing from side to side. So whatever you wish for yourself today, you can do that. You can totally straighten the legs and just hang out as well. Feel the spine elongating down towards the floor. Bring that navel in and up, again, creating space for the belly. When we bring that navel in and up, you may notice that you can fold forward a little bit more. One more nice deep inhalation in. Exhale, sigh it out. On your next inhalation, bring your hands on your hips. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. Coming up to standing. Good. All right, one more nice deep inhalation in. Keep your hands on your hips. Lift the chest, exaggerate it, and then exhale, hinge from the hips. Slide the hands down back to that flat back. So wherever those hands were on your legs, where you were creating that flat back. Same thing, nice deep inhalation in, get that nice flat back. And then exhale, slide the hands down, all the way down. Bring your hands to the floor, a little bit ahead of the shoulders, a little bit ahead of the feet. Walk the feet back. Downward dog. Nice deep inhalation in. And then exhale. Hands and knees, big toes together if you want. Knees wide apart. You can have the forearms on the ground, one hand on top of the other. Or you can go into a child's resting, so knees together, arms down by your sides. Nice deep breathing here. Breathing into the shoulders. Breathing into the entire back body. Feel that back body lift, and then exhale, release. One more nice deep inhalation in. And then exhale, roll up. One vertebrae at a time. Beautiful. Okay. Swinging those legs around, coming onto your sit bones. You're going to bring the bottoms of your feet together. Knees come out into a bound angle. Okay. Holding on to the ankles or the lower part of the shin. Kind of adjusting your sit bones here. Make it comfortable. Your feet do not need to be right in. They can be out. Okay, this creates more space. So the further they are out, majority of the time, the further you can fold. But again, you still want them in a little bit closer than you think, because you do want to get that hip opening and that bounce in the knees. So we are going to bounce here for a moment just to open up the hip crease. So holding on to those ankles or shins, bouncing the knees quickly, not slowly, quickly. Yeah, bringing that navel in and up, getting that nice lift out of the waist. Nice deep inhalation in. You can stop bouncing. And then exhale, hinge from the hips. So to get a little bit more opening up in those hips, you can press your elbows into the upper thigh or lower thigh, right above the knee. Okay, you can kind of press down here and then open up the hips a little bit before folding all the way forward if you can. You can just hang out here, open up those hips. So pressing, gently pressing, not forcefully. Being mindful of that. You can kind of just play here. You can open up the hips. You can wiggle from side to side. There's one hip that's a bit tighter. You can kind of push a little bit more on it. Just hang out here before completely folding forward and rounding the spine. Just opening up those hips. Good. Then when you're ready, you can draw that navel in and up a little bit more. Nice deep inhalation in. Lift the chest and then exhale, hinge from the hips, creating space for the belly to fold forward. And then you can grab the toes. You can bring your arms out here, just in front of you if you want, wherever's comfortable. And then just bringing that energy inwards. So however far forward you go, tuck that chin and towards the chest. So you're bringing that energy inwards towards the heart, drawing the third eye down, quieting the mind. And again, just being wherever you're at, rounding the spine. Nice deep breathing here. One more nice deep inhalation in. And then exhale, come up one vertebrae at a time. Hands underneath your knees, draw your knees back in. Good, hug the knees slightly into the chest, round the spine here, drop the chin down. Give yourself a nice little hug. And really, a nice little hug, but really squeeze yourself a little bit. Good, nice deep inhalation in. And then exhale, release. And then coming to lay down. You can have what you need for Shavasana handy. We're not going to go right into it yet. We are just going to do a little bit of a twist, and then we'll head into Shavasana. So have what you want handy. If you're wearing glasses, remove your glasses. Otherwise, hug your knees into your chest. Lengthen the spine along the floor. Feel the sit bones grounded, tailbone grounded. Nice deep inhalation in. Exhale, release. Any tension or tightness, allow the spine to sink into the floor. Good. You're going to hold that right leg in, extend that left leg out along the floor. So you're hugging that right leg in. Left leg is lengthening along the floor. You're pressing out through both heels, keeping the legs active, the pelvis stable. And again, bringing that breath in and up. Exhaling, releasing the shoulders away from the ears, feeling that the chest is lifting towards the sky. Belly is nice and soft here. Low back is lengthening on the floor. Great way to open up the hips here. On your next inhalation, you're going to bring your left hand on your right knee. Right hand comes out, palm faces down. It's going to come out from your shoulder. Nice deep inhalation in here. Bring that navel in and up, create that space, and you're going to exhale, twist that right leg over to the left side. Okay, as far as what's comfortable, and as far as you can without lifting the right shoulder. Okay, so you only want to go as far as what's comfortable without lifting that right shoulder. Okay, you can, head and neck can look straight at the sky or over the right shoulder. Again, definitely check your arm, where sometimes our limbs just kind of go wherever. So you might think that your arm is going out from the shoulder, and the upper arm might be, but then the forearm kind of does a weird thing, or your hand does some sort of flinging thing. Just bring it back in line, okay? Press that palm into the ground. This will help stabilize the arm and the shoulder from lifting. Nice deep breathing here. One more nice deep breath in. Engage that core. And then exhale, release back to center. Hug that knee into the chest. One more nice deep inhalation in. And then exhale, bring that left leg in, and then extend the right leg out. Good. So you're hugging that left leg in, drawing it in towards the chest, drawing the shoulder blades down, away from the ears, lifting the heart towards the sky, pressing through both heels. So the pelvis is stable, navel's going in and up. Feel the low back pressing into the floor. Again, nice deep breathing here. Good. On your next inhalation, you're going to bring your right hand on your left leg and then extend the left arm out from the shoulder. Nice deep inhalation in, and then exhale, twisting that leg. So you're bringing that left leg over to the right side. Again, keeping that left shoulder from coming all the way off the floor. So you're pressing that hand into the ground, palm faces down, shoulders grounded here. Again, it doesn't matter how far you go in the twist, you're still getting that twist, you're still getting that stretch through the outer hip, sit bone, hamstring, pressing out through both heels. Again, head and neck can look up towards the sky, or you can look at your left hand. Again, looking quickly at the left hand, just in case it's kind of doing its own thing, making sure it's in line. When you've come to that place of stillness in this pose, breathe. Navel in and up, get a little bit more twist. But really use the breath here. One more nice deep breath in. And then engage that core. Exhale back to center. Hug that knee one more time. Nice deep inhalation in. Bring the right leg up. Hugging both legs. And then you can bend the knees to a 90-degree. Grab the inner arches of the feet. And then draw the knees on the outside of the torso coming into happy baby. You're just pressing those sit bones down towards the floor, opening up the hips, lengthening the spine along the floor. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, release. Hug the knees one more time. And then we're going to move into Shavasana. So adjusting yourself, you're going to lengthen the legs along the floor. If there's one last stretch that you really need to get in, please do that. Otherwise, the legs are along the floor. Arms can be alongside the body, palms face up to help the shoulders roll down the back and away from the ears. Or you can, once you do that, kind of shift the shoulders under so that they're nicely grounded on the floor. The chest is lifted. You can bring one hand on top of the other, just on the belly. Let the legs follow to the sides. Let the feet follow to the sides. Once you've found that, again, that stillness in the pose, allow yourself to be here with the breath, with each inhalation and exhalation, bringing your focus to the breath. Noticing that as you inhale, the body lifts. As you exhale, you release, you let go of any extra tension, stress, anxiety. Honestly, anything that you no longer need in your life. In this moment, as you lie here, taking in the practice, allowing the body to take in the stretches and the movement that you've just created for it. Let go. Let go of the negative. Let go of the practice. And allow yourself to be here in this moment. Connecting the mind, body, and breath as one. Feel the body sink into the floor. Notice the thoughts. And then let them go. And stay connected with the breath. Finding that peace and stillness within. Nice deep inhalation in. Feel the body rise up. Exhale, side out. Bringing yourself back into the space. Wiggling your toes, fingers. Stretching in any way. You need to stretch, bending the knees, placing the soles of the feet on the floor, rolling to your right or left side for relaxation, left side for energy, or just convenience, depending on your space at home. Top arm along your side to keep the heart open, bottom arm resting, the head resting on the bottom arm. Take a nice deep breath here, keeping the eyes closed. Good. As you exhale, bring the knees up into the chest and then round the spine here. So you're going to drop that shoulder down into kind of a fetal position. Just hang out here for a moment, rounding the spine. Nice deep breathing. Keeping the eyes closed. And when you're ready, using that top hand to push yourself up, sliding the knees away from the body, coming into a seated position. Bringing your hands in front of your heart. Sitting up nice and tall. Rubbing the hands together, keeping the eyes closed, creating that warmth. Putting your hands over your eyes. Feel the warmth or the coolness. Nice deep inhalation in. Bring in what you need. Exhale, sigh out. Letting go of what you no longer need. Putting the eyes in the hands. Just rubbing the face, waking yourself back up. Thank you again for joining me this morning. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday, and I will see you. Oh, there is no yoga next Sunday, actually, Easter. So I will post that though, as a reminder. But thank you so much for coming. I hope you have a great Sunday. May you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you be loved. Namaste. Hold on.